All right. Sorry for being a few minutes late. We are on the um, attaining your best, attaining your personal best show with me, your host, Nat Williams. And as is customary, we start out with an opportunity to review a winning strategy. And I'm in the on the road, so I don't have my normal backdrop with me. But one of the things we have gone over in the past is the four M's. And I feel compelled to talk a little bit about that today, based on some of the events that have been going on around us, um, where we're seeing the four M's play themselves out. And the forums was asking me a while back, what does it take for a person to be successful? And I realized the four M's are what it takes to be successful, but also what's missing and what is challenging for people are the same four M's. And it's the ability, I think I have a backdrop here. So just hold on. It's that poster. Um, it's the ability to have a map, the ability to have a stable mental wellness, the ability to mediate and to accept mediation, and mentoring. And the people that are successful have those four things operating for them, and people that have challenges have those operating as well, but not in the realm of success. And so often we don't have a map, and that allows for us to end up in destinations we don't want to be. And often because we're successful is because we did have a map. And I encourage people to write it down because I realize that when it's written, it has a great possibility of happening. Secondly, that mental wellness and really working to help us um, be satisfied and okay with our circumstances, and being able to answer the question when asked, "Are you okay?" A person's able to say, "Yes, I am," and that's critically important. But I think we really see in our society where the next M, which is mediation, is really one of the major culprits of a lot of personal and societal distress, where we find that when we find a situation that we're often not able to mediate it, we're not able to figure it out and consider our options and our alternate pathways, and we take matters into our own hands, and often that causes some major issues. And last but not least, mentoring is so very important for us to be successful that we need to understand we're standing on the shoulders of other people. We're standing side by side with other people, and that mentoring aspect and that collaboration aspect is so important. So often, and you'll find in order to be successful, it's because you had a map, you had mental wellness, you were able to tolerate and sought out mediation, and you have mentors. And you were successful because of the and. You had all of those things working. But often when it comes to challenges, you just need one. You need for that map to be just a little bit faulty. You need for mental wellness to be just a little bit in jeopardy, a little bit unstable. You need for mediation and just the inability to consider there are other ways. And last but not least, you just need to surround yourself with people that are mentoring you in a negative, in a challenging way. So you just need one of those. You don't need the and in order to be successful there. You just need one of them. But in order to be successful, you'll need all four of them. So just keep that in mind, is that mapping, mental wellness, that mediation, and mentoring are what I found to be critically important if you want to be successful. So we have a guest this evening, Mr. Darian Thomas. So I'll invite him to join us. And he's going to talk with us a little bit about his journey to attain his personal best. And what that's looked like for him. So, Mr. Thomas, how are you doing this evening?
Hi, everyone. To be quite frank and honest, because honesty is the best policy, I am in like the middle of okay, I guess.
Mhm.
Just hearing like what you, um, the four M's,
Mm.
and to be able to be like, I'm not okay, but I'm okay. Like I'm content with, with my resources that I have, like my goal. And that's part of the map that I have.
Okay.
But just the disturbance in either one of the four M's, like the mental wellness,
Mhm.
being able to mediate or come to a common ground to weigh the pros and cons
Mhm.
of a situation, it's been difficult for me. And then trying to obtain or my resources, like the mentoring part, like surrounding myself with positive influences, or even a negative influence to like show like this is not what you need to be around. But I've been seeing a lot of that, so I've been like isolating myself in a sense, and I
Mhm.
don't want to do that anymore. So yeah, it's just been a long time, but I'm still here fighting.
Good. And so, when you talk about let's take one aspect of a map. What is the map you have for yourself? Where are you trying to go, and why are you trying to go there, and when do you think you're going to get there? And so, when you think about those six questions, the who, the what, the where, the when, the how, and the why, as it relates to mapping, where are you trying to go in your life, Darian?
So I'm 30, I'll be 31 this year. So at this current moment, I want to, provide more for myself at first. I can't, how can I help someone, even like, children and youth? That's my passion to give back
Hmm.
to the community that I grew up
Hmm.
in.
Hmm.
Um, so just being able to, that's my end goal is to like be a case manager or a social worker.
Wow.
But it seems that right there is like it could be a wide range of things, like a
Hmm.
case manager, serving mental health. I haven't found the niche yet, but I know it will be like children and youth.
Okay.
Um,
And
that's
why that? Is that because of
um
your lived experience? And as you
my
said, you went. Go ahead.
yes, my lived experience. Because me growing up in a children and youth system, child welfare system, it it didn't make me, it didn't break me. It just like, helped me like shaped who I am and how I view things.
Hmm.
Um and like being very resilient and like resourceful. Like nobody can take that away from me. Nobody can
Hmm.
take my knowledge that I have, that was instilled in me. Nobody can take that away from me. Um and I learned that I can only, take that away from me. I can do something to like, jeopardize any of
Hmm.
that. And
Hmm.
I'm learning to like respect myself more instead
Hmm.
of like getting bent out of shape. And when I was in care, I used to like, how can I say this, act out as a cry
Hmm.
out for help when all I can say is say, hey, I need help.
Sure. Sure.
um so that I'm just learning from my past mistakes, and trying to be okay with, yeah, I messed up,
Hmm.
or just to be like, hey, I'm still here is a great, like, is a great feeling for me.
Good. Good. And when it comes to your mental wellness, how do you feel? You said you're in the midst of being okay. What is it that you feel you can do to push you over to the other side of being okay?
um I'm gonna be 110% honest. Just I say I want to be in this field, right? The children and youth being like another service. However, if I don't have myself together, how can I help another person?
Sure.
So just being able to, um, I feel like what will push me to the other side of being like content and saying I'm okay, and I can say
Hmm.
it with a smile, and like hold my head up high, was would be some stability, like with employment.
Mm.
Um, it's like three things that's on my mind right now, like that I can name right off the bat, like stability with employment, stability with seeking like therapy, just not off and on. It has come a time where I'm in therapy, and then my therapist will go on vacation for a whole month and no backup plan for me. It's
Mm,
just like I'm just like in the like halt for a whole month, 2 months, and just like that's when I feel like I spiral and there's no coming. I
mm,
want to say there's no coming back from that, but it is still a way because I still have hope.
sure.
Um, it's just the that I've been trying my best and holding on. And you can't hold on to the past. I had to understand that. Don't hold on to the
Mhm.
past because that will keep you, far back there.
Sure,
So I've been trying to, live with what happened to me,
mhm,
because it didn't break me. I'm still here to,
sure.
provide and, talk to other youth and still hope in youth. It's just like if I'm not right, if I'm not mentally stable or in the capacity to help someone, um, like that right there, I want to be able to be content. Like, yes, I am okay.
Mhm,
Yes, I'm in therapy. To be proud to say that.
mhm. That's good. So when it comes to mediation and being able to consider options and, consider different pathways, how do you go about that so that you don't find yourself in a fatalistic circumstance where you just think there's no way out or there's only one way out? Often there's several different choices you have. So how do you address the issue of mediation and reminding yourself there's always alternatives?
I reach out to some of my mentors to get their input first, before I make my final decision. But I also, if I make the final decision, I got to make sure it's best for me.
Hmm.
In that instance, we all as a human talk about respect, um, and how if you don't respect yourself, it's just like anybody can walk over you in a sense. So being able to walk into a room and say I respect myself because if I'm showing up, I'm basically showing I'm respecting myself in a sense.
Hmm.
Um, and just being able to grasp whatever, take something away from, excuse me, a meeting or even just work, just taking something away from that, they're learning something new about respect for me is like that's respectable and commendable because a lot of people just go to things just to for it to benefit in a sense because think they can benefit monetarily from it or it's a way to get to the top. It's a loophole. I feel like that is very ingenuine, like not um, authentic.
Hmm.
So, but also being able to be vulnerable at that point and say like, yeah, I need help. These are the things I'm going through,
Sure.
and like with your mentors and stuff, like with my
Mhm.
mentors, it's just I can count on two people right now,
Mm.
and you I don't have that many friends because I've learned over the years that people even or I would do something or they would do something and there's no like coming back from it because of the respect part. If you think something about me, because of the simple fact that, oh, this, that, and a third, I'm not my past.
Mhm.
Um,
And
I'm
just
a
and just Darren, just something to keep in mind that we have a research is shared with us that generally not going to do better than your five closest friends because often
mhm,
they won't let you. But also some other research has shown that generally a person has on average three pretty close relationships. And I think sometimes we think it's like more than that.
mhm,
But sometimes when you say that you have two relationships that are really very close, then you're pretty close to the average experience for people. Even though you're a person who's had somewhat unaverage life experience, but you
yes,
still have an average amount of close friends. So I think it's important for you sometimes to give yourself credit that you do have somewhat of a safety net. A lot of times we want it to be more, because also we're very trained as people, as humans, to be often disappointed, um, with ourselves, with other people, and often that disappointment. Often we use that disappointment, and that's what we spend money on. We don't like our hair. We don't like our environment. We want a different car. We spend a lot of money trying to correct the disappointment, and so it's important for us to just recognize that about ourselves, that we need to be somewhat more content with ourselves and get ourselves around people that are going to remind us that we should be content. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be striving for stuff and trying to make things better for ourselves, but for the most part, they should believe in us. And but we also been raised in a society that says keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. That is the most ridiculous statement I think I've ever heard in my life. We should not be keeping our enemies closer. And what their agenda is, if they're truly enemies, is not something we should be filling ourselves up with. But again, we have that term that we feed ourselves, to believe, and it's the furthest thing from the truth. So, again, hopefully, we do have a few people in our lives that are able to be somewhat of a safety net for us. But do understand it just may be a few. It's not going to be a lot. So you
Yes.
talked earlier about mentors, and you said that you seem to have them, and they're there for you and able to support, and inspire, and motivate you. Do the people that are your mentors, do they know that they're your mentors? Is that something you have made?
So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest. So, I don't know if I told you, I look up to you and I feel like you're my mentor, but I have to, and this is like on my end, I have to stop. I need to be more active, proactive, and like, am I like, how can I say this? Am I being a mentee? How about that?
Hmm.
As well as Derek Perkins at the Center for Male Engagement. I've known him since I started CCP, and it's been to a point where I I don't want to say I exhaust my options, or I don't want to say that. I just feel like I look up to you guys, and sometimes when I don't reach out, I feel like I'm doing okay. I'm content, but it seems like when something goes wrong that it's unbearable for me in a
Hmm.
sense,
Hmm.
that's when I reach out
Right.
instead of saying, "Hey, I I'm almost this close to graduating college, like is there a way you can give me some motivation or some encouraging words to so I can finish strong
Mhm.
or just like keeping in contact, not only when something is going wrong.
Sure. And I think that's such a important point you bring up, and I give you credit for having enough introspection to realize that often you will make contact with your mentees when there's a problem, and not when you're successful. But we need to experience both, um,
Yes,
not just the problems, not just the success. We need to experience your lived experience and your walk, so that we can be helpful to you in both situations. So I think it's really good that you know that, and that you're aware of that, and you're committed to working on that. And I
yes,
think you've given a point that a lot of people just may not have thought about when they think about their mentors, is when do I go to them? And again, a lot of times people just go when it's good or go when it's just bad. But again, a true mentor would enjoy knowing how you're doing on both ends of the spectrum, because they a lot of times have resources for you in both atmospheres, not just when it's good or not just when it's bad. So again, I give you credit for recognizing that about yourself. So you talked about CCP. For those that don't know, that's the Community College of Philadelphia. So where do you stand with your studies? How far are you with that?
I am trying to take a different route. I have an opportunity, I have an interview, so I'm still trying to pursue getting my degree.
How
And
many
it's
how
so
many how many credits do you have so far?
so far I'm in like my bachelor's program.
Okay.
So I didn't finish CCP, but I just transferred my credits. So I'm trying to get my social work, bachelor's in social work from Capella.
Oh, good.
It's
Hmm.
actually holding me up, because everything is like self-paced and online. I'm more of a in-person learner. So
Hmm.
during COVID was one of the trickiest times for me, like,
Sure.
and one of the trying times for the country, not just for me.
Sure.
So with that being said, um, I've been trying my best to, push through and
And what,
my degree.
and Darian, what if someone told you that maybe leaving CCP and not getting that associate was something you may want to revisit? Because sometimes getting that associate and that one piece of paper that no one can ever take back to you, take back from you, may have been um, an important milestone, and that this bachelor's degree sounds so formidable and so distant. Um, so just be prepared to think about that, and that's the beauty of a community college is for those people that are not sure how far they want to go. At least if I do these 2 years, I'm gonna, have something to show for it. So keep that in mind. And it's never too late. And lots of times, community colleges can work with you in ways that you would be really surprised at, being able to do. And I try to remind people that a college is a business. And you have to find that one business. You just need to find one university or college that understands what you need and is willing. Again, it's like finding a mate. You just need to find one. And sometimes with college, you need to find one. You need, with some of the other, that one good doctor. So often we think it's like multitudes, but often we just need that one good opportunity. So I would encourage you to think about that. That maybe
Yes.
going back to finish that would be something that's important. And I want to just make sure you can see on the screen there what Selena.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know where she's at?
No.
She's in Morocco, in Africa. So she's
Oh
all the
my
way over there, and I don't know
gosh.
what time zone it is,
Okay.
but she's a real fan of the show. She's also a colleague, and so she's just giving you a round of applause from across the
Thank
world.
you.
All right, so keep that in. And now she said she's crying. So right. She needs to get a life or go to sleep. Maybe she's yeah, she said it's 1:30 a.m. here, so she just
Oh
needs to go to bed.
wow.
Just needs to go to bed. But thank you, Selena, for your positive words. So as we get ready to wrap up our conversation, Darian, what lies ahead for you in your future? What are I know you want to finish up your bachelor's with Capella. You want to possibly go back into the child welfare system, but what else? I mean, you're a whole person. What else is out there for you when it comes to your spirituality? When it comes to your environment, what are some of the other things that you're working on?
So I'm working on like being more like me being more like active like within like going to parks like
Mm,
Lincoln Drive, Kelly Drive, and just exercising, being able to say, "Oh, I walk a lot." So
mm,
just being able to say I did 15,000 steps, which is not much, because
mm.
I've done like 30,000.
Wow.
So just being able to be like, hey, I completed this goal today with my like fitness, or
Sure. In your health, right? That's good.
yes,
Hmm.
um, as well as just I have an interview this Thursday, and
Hmm.
I see a potential career shift in a sense.
Hmm.
And I feel like it would give me more stability in a sense. And I'm gonna
Was this
say in a sense because
was this the correctional officer idea?
yes, yes. So I say that to say I feel like there's longevity
Mm,
within there being a correctional officer because one, I'm thinking like futuristic in a sense,
hmm,
but I want to
hmm.
remain in the present.
Okay.
So I'm very resourceful in obtaining a job, obtaining
Hmm.
employment. It's just
Keeping
being
it.
very transparent. It's maintaining it. And I feel like if I get another shot with children and youth, um, I would, you know, keep that and hold it
Hmm.
without like with my heart, like just being
Hmm.
able to say, hey, I'm still embarking on or still like helping youth. Um, Yeah, like that part, but just being able to
So
a
what?
career shift.
Yeah, Nitsa says, talk about the job you're after. What is the big job you're looking for? Does she know something I don't know?
So the big job I'm looking for at this moment, I'm gonna be honest, I do want to be a social worker. That's the end
Okay.
result.
Okay.
And having a like, a nonprofit, as I mentioned to you before,
Mhm.
I have like paperwork like I-9, not I-9, EINs, but
Right.
I don't know where to start. I don't know where else to like,
Okay,
go follow
but
through
you
with
but
it.
you but you do know that I'm a
Yes,
CEO of a couple of
yes, I
nonprofits.
know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have a doctorate in social work, and I'm a licensed social worker. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
a great mentor. However, I'm gonna be honest, let's be transparent. I'm gonna say a comment, I'm gonna say something, and I mean this. Who's stopping it? Me. I'm the person because it's my life and you're my mentor. And it's just me not reaching out at
Mm.
that, only reaching out when there's some bad stuff going on.
Right.
So I feel like if I continue to provide, like, provide my support and say, hey, I need, like, this is what I'm going through. This is like, I'm doing good. Even like just giving myself that credit, that clap and
Mhm.
say, oh,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And as Selena says,
yes,
I often say the answer is in the room.
yes,
There's some people that you know that are right around you that can afford to see you be successful, if not more successful than they were, and they're
yes,
willing to, to pass the torch on. So, whatever, we can do to help, I can do to help, Nitsa can do to help, we're right here. And as you said, call whenever, just to say how you're doing. There is no issue, there is no problem. So just, keep that in mind. So I thank you, Darren, for calling in tonight and sharing your story. I think it's been very helpful with your level of transparency and being real about what you're working on. And again, let's stay in better touch
yes,
and closer, more frequent touch. And I'm sure the stuff you want to accomplish, you'll be able to do. And we'll have you back on when you're
yes,
walking across one of these stages or you got
yes,
that promotion in the job. Because I get the sense that good things are right around the corner for you. So
yes.
very good. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Sure, sure, sure. Wow. So thank you, Mr. Thomas, for calling in tonight. I think that dialogue was really very good. Thank you, Selena and Mr. Johnson, Ms. Gambino. I don't know where that came from, but I know him by another first name other than Gambino. And Nita and others, my wonderful wife. I see she's commented here. She said hello. That's not her first name, so I don't know what that's about, but maybe that's her internet name, Mabina. So it's all good. But I thank you all for sharing your comments and offering some support to Mr. Thomas. I look forward to seeing you next week, same time at 8 p.m. on Monday nights, the Attaining Your Personal Best show with Dr. Nat. Thanks for tuning in. Be well.